There.
Hi.
Eventually we got through. Oh, how are you doing?
Good. Are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I'm good. So how's your week been? Like, this is the phone call where we're basically just meeting up to cut through any of the bullshit going on and just like help you overcome that and just help you see it in a different way so you can move forward faster and quicker.
Yeah. I keep making assumptions. I keep making I keep saying, yeah, but I know them, so maybe I won't be able to work with them because maybe they'll do this, maybe they'll do that, maybe like they won't be able to afford it like I didn't think I could, and I'm just all these things. And like when I spoke to you obviously yesterday saying about feeling like they were just not responding, like I don't know what to do now to follow that up. I don't know what I can say to jump back in and say, do you know what, like, how are you feeling? Is there any reason why you wouldn't want to take a phone call? I don't know. I need to man up.
You don't to start with, you don't bother chasing people. Like, follow up with them, yeah, follow up, but don't chase, because that becomes as what? Desperate, doesn't it? Don't chase, and then if you respond like that, that's what you get more of. So if you're going to respond from that desperation place, you're going to get more of that, and you're going to get more desperate people coming to work for you, and you're going to become more desperate. So, yeah. And to regards with the stories in your head, telling yourself, what if this, what if that, you're creating that reality through your own thinking. You don't know that's true. How do you know that's true?
Yeah, I don't.
You don't. So, like, how would you be if you just didn't think that way? You would start taking the actions, wouldn't you? So you've got to realise that this is a new area for you. There's going to be a part of you, and see that language I'm using, a part of you, just a part of you that feels scared. A part of you that maybe doesn't feel good enough or worthy to do that and help people. And that's okay. That's how it is. That's this whole...
It is, definitely, because then I have to remember all the times that I've done it. And like, one girl messaged me and I was going to go see her today because she's young, she's got a baby. She messaged me saying these videos are really, really helping. She lives on her own, and this is what I mean. I keep assuming, and I know her situation, and I'm like, at the end of the day, I don't want to come across salesy to people that I do know, and I know her situation, because that's just me. But
okay.
I also like the fact that I help her by giving her the videos. I was going to pop and see her, and she didn't actually get back to me this morning. But back in the day, when she was only a teenager and I'm friends with her mum, I'd sat down with both of them and I started opening up a can of worms for both of them. And it was like I was getting them to talk, and I was getting into a really good position of like getting them to be more open and honest with each other. And then the stepdad came in and was like, what are you doing downstairs? Get upstairs, you're grounded, and rah, rah, rah. And I was like, wow, that is exactly the problem here. Like, she's got no voice. She's not allowed to do as she wants. But because I was there mediating and helping them, she was starting to talk, and her mum was starting to listen. But now her mum has gone over to live in another place with a boyfriend, and bless her, she's left to her own devices. And it's like, I can see where that divide has happened. And
I picked up on something that you said. You said that you don't want to come across too salesy. And that was something that really fucking held me back at the start, right? I'll ask you a question. Can you help this person?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So do you know for a fact that you can help this person? Like 100%?
Yeah.
So are you selling to them?
I'm a what?
Are you selling to them?
No.
No, you're not. You're perceiving it differently. And you're basically doing her a disservice by not helping her and not coaching her through her mindset to allow her to see what you can see, what she can't see yet. Because that's how you're her coach, because you can see stuff in her that she can't see herself, and you're further ahead on her journey. Just like I can see stuff in you that you don't see in yourself, and I pick up on because I'm further ahead a little bit on the journey. It doesn't make me any better than you. It doesn't make you any better than her. We're all equal. We're all here to help each other. So
just give me 2 seconds, Scott. Have you got my number?
No, Facebook looks obviously.
Yes. Yeah. All right, darling. Thank you. See you later. Bye.
So there's still a part of me inside that sometimes when it comes to the sales, I don't like the word sales, that a little bit of, like, I don't want to be too salesy, or I feel a bit nervous about asking for money or whatever it is. Right?
It's always been the same, because even in my hairdressing business, it's been the same.
Right, okay, right. Remember, like, what the world we live in is 99.999% nothing space, right? It's 0.0001 nothing. So what's money? Money is a fucking energy. So money is an exchange in energies. It's not what money. Money is just energy. Who gives a shit about money? I don't really give a shit about money. Money just comes as a byproduct of me serving you, of you serving other people. It's a fucking, you have to put money out there for it to circulate, or it's never going to come back to you. And I have to remind myself this stuff all the time. Okay? So you need to remind yourself all the time. When you're coming to that sales call, or sales call, we'll call it, even though I don't like that, but you've got to realise it's not a sale. You're doing that, like, I'm just going to, like, call you out, and that you're not stepping up and owning your zone of genius. Like, you can fucking help that person, but you're allowing your own bullshit to get in the way. So how are you ever going to serve people? How? You're not. Because you're going to listen to your own bullshit in your head, and I have to remind myself this, so don't feel alone. Every single human being on this planet has to remind themselves this, that we are doing humanity, the world, a disservice if we do not own our genius. Who gives a shit what anyone else thinks or says about you? As long as you know at your heart that you're acting with integrity, and that you're doing everything in your power to help that fucking person. Yeah. So
Yeah.
like what's going on then? What's holding you back?
Fear. It's always the fear, isn't it?
You know what?
Being judged, being told that I can't. Why do you do that? Why do you think you can do this? It's starting to sink in though, because I've started to go, do you know what? I can fucking do it, because do you know what I realised is, like, I trained with Tony and Guy in London for 6 weeks, and that training then told me that I was the fucking best hairdresser, that I am good.
Sorry, what? Sorry, what? Say that again. Oh, say that again. Say it again. Take it in.
That I am brilliant. That
Right,
I am good.
go,
I am the fucking best.
Right, now receive it. Now just take it and just feel it. Go. Just shut your eyes. Just shut your eyes and feel it.
Yeah.
Right. So feel like, honestly.
And I knew, even though I'd gone to college for whatever amount of time and got a piece of paper to say I was a qualified hairdresser, I knew that that didn't actually make me the hairdresser that I am today. It was that 6 weeks where I went and I studied and I was around people. And I think I've told you before, like, whenever the college course that I was on, the tutor turned around and said, this is the best college course that I've ever taught, and they're the best set of students I've ever had. And when I went to Tony and Guy and I did the same down there, the guy also said, this is the best set of students that we've had. We've had the most distinctions and everything. And it was like, wow, so this is twice that has happened to me.
Okay, so now you're going into a new area that's not hairdressing, right? These same little fears are going to show up, but you're still that brilliant person. You're still that person that's invested in yourself, that's brought yourself to a place energetically where you're feeling good and you're feeling the pull from within to help people. But then
and I did feel like this when I started then. You know, the first week in, it was like, this is overwhelming. I'm coming up against people that are like looking at me as if to say, you can't do that. I didn't believe in myself very much. I was doing what I was doing, and I was just like, one of the teachers said to me, do you know, I'm only relating this to how I feel then, like said, oh, do you know how to do this? And I was like, yeah, I'm all right. And she didn't, and she went, and she was a bitch. She was really horrible and aggressive in her approach. And she was like, you're more than all right at doing this. You're quite capable. And I was like,
Hey.
Thanks. And you know, I can relate now, like over the last probably just 24 hours, when I've realised, you know what? Yes, just because I haven't, like you said, you know, I'm not expecting to make millions in the next 5 days, in the next week, 2 weeks, but I know that I am going to be able to do what I need to do to serve people, and that people will pay that price. I am so on edge about it being the end result, whereas I know when you said take a step back and just enjoy the process, that's where I'm going to be at. Like, I know that in 6 weeks I'll have learned so much, and that I'll be able to do and have all the tools that I need to. Lauren, who come and cleans me, bless her, she's in a proper bad way at the minute. Like, I really want to be able to help her. But she's really, really good with computers. So she's just given me the free, because I didn't have Word or anything on my computer. So she's downloaded something or other.
Everything happens for a reason.
To do.
So let's get to the bottom. Like, let's find out like what's happening at an unconscious level. So you're feeling the fear of disapproval from others. Is that right? Is that probably the main one? Is that like the main one? So you're worried about what other people think?
Yeah. I just quickly tell you, with the group that I'm in, you know, like the Daily Ask Kickery Revolution Leaders, there's another group called Why the Fuck Not Today. And I'm in that, and then there was something, and I said to him, I'm a bit dubious about freebies. I want to, you know, like when people are offering stuff. And anyway, it was like, in groups like this, you can be all right to have freebies because it's like all helping us learn. So I took on this girl saying, oh, does anybody want an alignment reading? So I thought, oh, it's a freebie, I'll take it. And then she rang me up and she was like, this, and this, and this, and this. You need to be more compassionate. And I told the whole story about my mum, and she was like, toxic people in your life, this, but she keeps giving you this negative loop that because you've been told so many times over of your younger years through to your adult years, and especially since you've been single, been told that you're bad, that you shouldn't be doing this. That's where your negative loop comes in. That's where it keeps then bringing you back to being how you are with everything, sabotaging everything. When something's going good, you want to sabotage it. And then she obviously said, I understand that you're working with a coach. Do you want your mindset? Do you want me to help you with your mindset? And I was like, no, I'm all right being aligned with one person right now.
One bit of advice I would give you is watch how you respond to things. If you're responding and trying to get everything for free, that's what you'll get more of.
Oh yeah, I know. And that's why I thought, right, if I just see what's what.
I used to do that all the time.
It was a sales call, because I said to the girls in the group, I said, is this a business mindset, like being wary of it, or does it go way back about receiving things? And everyone was like, it goes way back. So then when I did accept something for free, and then she said, do you want to work with me on a mindset level? I was like, no, I'm all right. I'm with a coach. I thought that was where my fear was, is that it's not just something for free. You obviously want something to give something.
Yeah.
And so that's where that just made me realise. And she was like, oh, thanks for your time anyway. And I was like, no, it's okay. I'm working with a coach. I'm fine.
Yeah. That's one thing I would say is, see, when you're focusing on something, keep your focus and attention on that rather than everything else, because you just add loads of information overload. And remember what we went through last time, what happens with information overload is we end up getting stressed and we don't connect to who we truly are at our core. We get caught up in our head, neuromuscular lock kicks in, and we're like, fuck, we've just created stress, we've created all this shit going on. And whoever might put something into your head that you don't need to hear. So be careful about that, but that's fine. You've learned, you've done it, it's fine, all good. So, you're fear of disapproval from other people, so you're a people pleaser then.
Yeah, when I spoke to that psychotherapist, she called it a shapeshifter. I thought she was on about dancing, and I was like, yeah, I am.
Right.
But obviously, she, in a psychotherapist way, she was like, you fit to other people's whatever. But yeah, I'm definitely a people pleaser.
I can't remember the 8-step training you've got access to. I can't remember what the module is, but there's a module in that where we go over the people pleasing. I will find it and I will message you after this. Go back, watch that presentation, and allow it to sink in.
I've organised my, but it's not coming up on my phone, but that's what I wanted it to do. I've organised my emails from you to put in, so I put that 8-week transformation course in one set of emails clustered. And then obviously these ones are going to go into a business one, but for some reason they're not locating to my phone, because I was going to go over all of them again as well.
Right, okay, so what, obviously other thing I picked up on was that you said you felt the pressure, right? Why?
Because I don't feel ready. I don't feel ready to make that sales, and so therefore I'm just doing what I need to do. I'm listening. It's almost like I was taking on everything, the steps, and letting it sink in. And then it was like, right, okay, well now we can make 2 sales by the end of the week. And I was driven by that, but at the same time I felt like I was still trying to take in everything and still trying to put the content out there, getting comfortable with the with the process, and not worrying about, and not jumping in at the deep end.
Yeah, well, the quickest way to learn, Claire, is just to jump in at the deep end.
Yeah.
Like literally, like remember the metaphor I use is jump off the cliff and build a plane on the way down. Like you might not be ready, but start before you're ready, because that's how you learn.
And that's what I keep thinking, like when you're saying stuff to me, like I haven't got a presentation. I don't know how I'm going to design a webinar.
But you haven't got a presentation. You're going to learn all that stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't stop you from doing it now. It's only your own thoughts that are stopping you from doing it now, because you sit in front of the computer. I used to do this all the time. I sit in front of the computer, right, I'm going to do this, this, and this. And then I would sit and be like, well, I don't really know how to do that.
Yeah. That's it. Like when you're saying to me, get clear on your intentions, how you want to, who you want to work with, who you want to help people. And I'm like, I sort of I've already said I know that I want to help people that have been in my situation, that I felt like I have. That is my clear goal. But at the same time, until I start working with people, I don't feel like I know exactly my niche. And I know.
Yeah, don't worry about that. That will come with time. Like honestly, like a lot of people get hung up on that stuff when you should just like start and. Like,
I think I feel the pressure because I don't want to feel like a failure. I don't want to feel like, if I'm not doing what's asked of me, if I feel like I haven't done what's been asked of me, am I just going to fall off again because I'm going to get told I'm going to get told that, well, you haven't done this, so that's going to make you fail, or you haven't done that, so you're not going to get where you need to go. I suppose the thing that for me was that, obviously, you've said, do the work. I know you will, but I'm just telling you anyway. It's almost like, well, if I don't do the work, I'm going to fail.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. If you don't do the work, you're going to fail. But failure is not a bad thing. Failure is just opportunity. So stop perceiving failure as bad. Like I don't know how many times I've fucking failed over and over again, and I'm like, brilliant, this is good. I'm just learning more. So
that's it. I'm never going to sit and go, well, okay, it didn't work. Like you said, 4 months of making videos. I'm sure I started looking at your emails in the September time before I went on my holiday. And then I come back off my holiday and it was like email, video, join the group, this, that, and the other. And obviously I wrote the email to you now saying it. But it did take me like maybe 4 weeks from the point where I first saw you in my newsfeed to then.
It takes somebody 5 to 7 times to trust you. But listen, like your biggest, and this is not a coincidence, I've just wrote this in the status before this phone call, right? Nothing's a coincidence. You're defining your present reality by what you perceive with your senses. That's what you're doing.
And what? Say it again.
Is defining your present reality by what you perceive with your senses your biggest limitation?
With my senses?
Yeah, well, you're seeing all this stuff and you're making all this stuff up in your head saying, well, what if I'm a failure? What if people disapprove? And you're perceiving all this stuff through your senses. That's your biggest limitation. Like I said at the start, remember, you're so much more than that. You're more than physical reality. You're infinite if you just tap into it. So stop making the stories up in your head that are holding you back, because they don't do you any good. They're just you holding yourself in this chronic vibration. It's just like a little circle and you can't get out of it.
Yeah.
So the only way to get out of that is to change the way you're thinking about this. Because when you change the way you're thinking and you direct your thoughts in a more positive direction, then you know what happens? You feel better. You're going with the flow of life. Go back to #1 in 8-step training and watch Welcome to the Real World and let that sink in. You're, like every human being, and I do have to remind myself this all the time, is that I'll look at my physical reality and then I'll feel shit because I don't like what I see. But you're so much more than whatever you're fucking perceiving. So why?
I don't like it if I don't like it if I get told I'm wrong, or sorry, no, your opinion is not worthy, or your opinion doesn't count. One example was my sister was texting me yesterday saying she needs to move out and this, that, and the other, and that's, was it yesterday or the day before? When it was the day before when I put the message out, a video message about get out your own way, like stop worrying about the external things, because my sister's like, oh, I need to live in this better place because then that will make my life better. And I was like, what, just the same as you did this, whatever. And then she was like, and I said, you're not happy because you're not concentrating on your career, on the things that you love and that you want to be doing. And she was like, that's where you're wrong, because blah, blah, blah. And I just put in a response, because I was feeling defensive because I was told I was wrong at that time, I just responded with, okay, because I didn't want to argue with her and I needed to take a step back from it to realise. And then when she texted me today saying, just thought I'd let you know, because she went to an audition yesterday and this, that, and the other. And then so I could then look back on the message and read it, and actually I could have responded with, well, that's all well and good, but you know, you're concentrating on something and making it a negative in your life because you're feeling like this, so everything else in your life is going to be negative, so this is where you need to change. And I kind of did that today by responding with, okay, so yeah, don't worry about what your housing situation, living arrangements are, because at the end of the day, you know, it's all good. At the minute, you've got a roof over your head, concentrate on being positive and doing the things that you love, and then everything will fall into place and it'll work out. Write down what you want, write down where you want to live, and have a clear idea, and that will happen. And so I was more positive and able to respond when I took time away from feeling that I'd been negatively approached or negatively responded. I struggle to deal with that.
So there's a part of you that feels that your way is the only way.
Yeah.
Well, why is that? Like, your way is, that's a lot of bullshit. Your way isn't the only way. You have to be open and observant to other people's opinions, and that's how you learn and grow. So if somebody says something to you and you think it's negative, that's your problem, not theirs, right? That's your problem because you're perceiving it as negative, where that person has a positive intention behind what they're saying. So you can't judge that person. So that's your problem you've got to fix on, to work on. So there's a part of you that has to be right, and Claire's way is the only way. So when somebody says something to you and you feel that that's not right, you'll just be like, well, fuck you. Fuck, who the fuck are you talking to? So you need to, I used to be like that too. I was like, fucking all angry in my head and like, how do you?
And it gets me angry. It does get me angry.
How do you get away from that? You know this. How do you get away from that? Answer that question.
In the immediate time?
In that immediate time, how do you get away from it?
Drop down into your centre.
Whoa! Hello! How easy is that? Yeah. Because what you're doing is you're thinking from your head and your ego mind there. So you need to drop to your heart. You need to listen. Remember the people system. Acknowledge. This is. I did actually learn yesterday from that. And this is what I was saying to you about my old lady. She's like 75. She's negative shit's always going on. And there was one time not long ago, and she really bit back, and she was like, ah! And I was like, I'm trying to do your hair right now. If you don't want me to carry on, I'll leave. She was like, oh, that's just great. She was dripping wet with hair. So yesterday, when I got there and I was like, how are you? She was like, I'm not. And I was just like, I don't want to be here right now. I'm just going to walk out the door. I'm just going to up and leave. I'm going to fucking go. I don't like this. And then I was like, just calm down. Just calm down. She'll talk to you when she's ready. She'll say what she needs to say. And as soon as I started the hairdryer, which I'm just like trying to listen to like this, I knew that she'd open up to me and talk to me. And when I was responding, I was really conscious of how I didn't want to be forceful. I didn't want to be, this is what you need to do, or blah, blah, blah. So I was trying to listen.
I was understanding. And when I did say something, I was a bit cautious. I was thinking, she's going to bite back at me, whatever I say. So I might as well just say it in this way. And when I said it, she kind of like tilted her head and she listened. And I was just like, wow, I actually have learned something today, that if I stand back and I let them speak and I just take it all in, I can say what I need to say. And I did say it with compassion, and I did say it with how I needed to. And I didn't get annoyed when she didn't understand maybe what I'd said, because I didn't say anything that she didn't need to hear. It was just totally different to how the last time something like that happened. And she was just like, oh, it really shocked me.
So what we're going to do, like, we've basically picked out two things that we've picked up on. So there's a part of you, the part of you that's a people pleaser, and there's a part of you that has to be right all the time. So they actually like contradict each other, right? But that just shows you that you've got multiple personalities. There's loads of you, but and I'm the same. I'm not talking just for you. Every human being on the planet's the same. We've all got these multiple parts of us that act in different ways, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to become more aware, because this is going to show up when you're trying to help people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to stop you from approaching someone to try and help them or have the sales, sort of say, and you're never going to make the money that you want to make. But more importantly, the impact in the service, right? So what I want you to do is I want you to become aware, really become aware of you and these parts of you, but focus on these two parts. So the part that has to be right and the people pleaser. So have you got a pen and paper? Grab one, and then we'll do something.
My pens keep going missing. I've got my paper on anyway.
Alright?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to write that down. So there's a part of me that has to be right all the time. Then there's a part of me that tries to please people. And what I want you to do over the next week until next Friday is become aware of how this shows up in your thoughts, in your feelings, in your actions, and in your words. And catch yourself every time you feel something, you think something, you act in a way, or you speak some sort of language. And then record that on that bit of paper. All week, every week, become aware and break the patterns. And what I want you to do is I want you to come up with 2 new conscious commitments that are the complete opposite of that. So instead of pleasing people, why don't you try and look after yourself? Yeah? So then you write out, I'm consciously committed to looking after myself, and I'm consciously committed to thinking in this way. I'm consciously committed to acting in this way. I'm consciously committed to feeling good, and I'm consciously committed to using language that aligns with that. So the language that you're using is don't use stuff like try, can, if, and all these stupid words. Start talking as if things are happening already. Start living in now in this present moment like you want to be. Stop living in the past or stop worrying about the future. That's what you're doing. Remember, go back to the step 8 in the training, finding your why or finding your what or whatever you want to call it. You're living in the past, you're worrying about the future, you're not living in this present moment, but living in this present moment in the way you want to be, not in the past or worrying about the future. In this moment, in the way you want to be. And the way to do that is to become aware of all these parts of you and like absolutely crush them, lean into them. Don't go away from them and say, well, that was interesting that I acted in that way, or that was interesting that I felt that anger. But you know what? I'm going to consciously choose to do this. And then you act in that way. If you act something, you maybe say sorry and then you act in a different way. Simple as that. You catch yourself in the moment and you fix it very quickly. You break the pattern and then you replace it with a you. Right? So become aware this week, anytime that this pops up to do in business and in your personal life, you have to be right. In your thoughts, feelings, actions, words. People pleasing in your thoughts, feelings, actions, words. Then write them down and become aware of them.
What is it? Feelings, thoughts, actions, words.
There you go. And then once you catch yourself and you wrote that down, come up with a new conscious commitment. I am consciously committed to. And then do you know what? You can turn them into empowering questions. Remember the empowering questions? And then you can rewire your brain and you will start becoming that person. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
right.
Which is weird because I talked about my video today.
Whoa!
Taking care of myself. I need to listen to myself. So true.
Ah, brilliant. I love this shit. Right. Okay, so that's your 2 tasks for this week to do with your own inner environment. And this is what this call's about. This is why I give 2 calls, because one's about more business and giving you stuff to do. The other one is about cutting through your bullshit. And I believe this is the call that gets the fucking results. This is why I do it. Alright, so take that away, let that sink in. How are you feeling now?
I'm just like, yes, why am I not listening to my own advice? Like, I know.
So are you ready to start stepping up? Are you ready to step up and help people?
Yeah.
Are you like, tell me, if you don't mean that, do not say it. If you mean that, look into my eyes and tell me that you mean it.
I mean it.
Right, so are you going to fucking listen to your own bullshit going on in your head, stopping you from becoming the person who you are already? Remember, your inner voice is what's guiding you forward. This is not a coincidence, right? Nothing's a coincidence. You've already become this person you want to become, but right now you're fucking resisting it.
Yeah.
Stop it. It's not serving you, it's not serving me, it's not serving humanity. Because you can help so many people. Stop trying to please people, and you're not always right, Claire. Sorry to break it to you. I'm not always right. I'm happy to open up and listen to other people's opinions and be like, fuck yeah, he was right or she was right. Maybe I was being a bit of a bell ender. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
Human nature, man. Human nature. It's how we're wired. So, yeah. So I'll see you. Keep in touch over the weekend. Always keep in touch. Let me know how you're getting on. If you come across any situations that you're like, and you're getting caught in your head and you're feeling your bullshit, do not hide.
Yeah, I think this will be the biggest, in the personal side of things, this is the biggest thing for how I am with Megan, because I have to stop myself and catch myself a lot of the time. So I'll definitely know how I react.
Yeah.
So and that to me is my biggest thing that I really want to change anyway.
Good. So I'll see you on Monday, and what we'll be covering over the high ticket sales. See how I'm putting that little quote in there, sales. But now you're more competent when it comes to this asking to help people, yeah?
Yeah.
But remember, you've already done this. All the success that you want to achieve, you can live that here and now if you choose to. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you.